What is up, geeks and geekettes? It's another episode of the Countdown to the Geekcast. My name is Steady. With me on this episode is the man, the myth, the legend. You know him as JC.
Hey, everybody.
We also got the man behind the magic, Joe Garcia.
Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm excited because my Red Sox are advancing. Let's go, Red Sox Nation.
All right, I'll see y'all later.
Here we go.
Still better about that wild card loss, huh, Jared?
Well, pick a better team instead of the Yankees
over
next
it.
time.
I'm
All
over
right,
it.
well, hey. On the
And-
bright
and-
side, the Yankees won't get eliminated by Jose Altuve again. So.
And listen, last but never the least, the one and only Jericho.
What's up, y'all?
First time we've had a full Geekcast panel in some time, which we all got jobs, we all got families, so it's understandable. But glad to see everybody here again, and I would like to say that it's going to be a very positive discussion that we're going to have since we're all here, but I'm not exactly sure it's going to go that way for the entire show. So I figured we start off on a more positive note. We're going to start off talking Marvel's What If finale on the Disney Plus streaming service. If you haven't seen the finale of What If, highly recommend you watch it, and I highly recommend you pause this video right here. Check out the finale because we're going to spoil all of it front to back, beginning to end, and all that good stuff and everything in between. Later on, we're also going to be talking about DC Titans. Oh gosh, the train wreck that is DC Titans for the third season. I'm not gonna have a lot of great things to say. And then at the end of the show, we're gonna get into some geeky weekly headlines. Just biggest stories, biggest news stories of the week in television as well as movies. But first, let's get into Marvel's What If season 1 finale. And I will start off by saying a prediction that I let go of at the beginning of our discussion with Marvel's What If was saying that the Watcher was going to sort of, we were going to have a culmination of all these stories at the end of season 1. And I let it go. I said, you know what? It's probably not going to happen. It's too good to be true. And I'm happy with sort of the flavor of the week format that they were going with because I was enjoying a lot of these stories, just one-offs, and even some of the more depressing ones, like the Doctor Strange's story, just him sort of being alone in his own universe. Like that's a really hard thing to watch, but if you just end it like that, I'm like, that's pretty deep. That's deep.
Yeah.
That's pretty a little dark, but still, it's a very deep way to end sort of that episode. But happy to say that I was right, but then wrong because I thought they were going to do it. So I was wrong. I'm happy to be wrong though because it was a fantastic episode. It was the Guardians of the Multiverse, and they were brought together by the Watcher, and it was fantastic. Jericho, we've probably heard the least amount from you because we've done so many of these episodes without you. So I'm gonna let you go first, man. The What If season finale. Give us your general thoughts or your overview about the episode.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I mean, it was definitely one of my favorites. I know it was a 2-part episode, and it had a lot going on, and it did bring everybody from the different multiverses, different episodes, basically their own version of the Avengers style.
Yeah.
It was really cool. I liked how the story. This one is one of the stories where I would have liked for it to have been maybe like one long block instead of break it up into the 2 parts. Only because there was just so much going on, and it would have been cool to get like a longer version of it. But from what we got, it was great. It was a really great episode. Really cool to see the Watcher just finally interfering, and even though he was just like trying so hard not to, and finally he just kind of had to nudge them in the right direction. And it was really good. A lot going on, and really cool callbacks and everything. So I really enjoyed it.
Absolutely, especially since we got a callback to my favorite Marvel movie, The Winter Soldier. It's Captain Carter starting off at the opening sequence of The Winter Soldier when they're going up against Patroclus Leaper, who's hijacked a shield vessel. So yeah, like already fantastic callback. My favorite movie, fitting that it's the beginning of the finale of What If, the finale, start of the finale for What If. Joe, you're up, man. Give us your general thoughts about the finale.
The finale was, I thought, pretty enjoyable. And compared to how they
Yeah,
look, they set it up right. It had was
It's a
like a two-part,
miracle.
right? Part one and then part two. And part one,
yeah,
they were setting things up, so I was giving it a chance. Okay, this is what they're gonna do for the big finale. Cool. I liked it. I thought it was a good way to end the What If first season. I liked that they went ahead and said, "Hey, what if Ultron, got a hold of the Infinity Stones?" And it was cool to see what Ultron would have done, with these Infinity Stones. We kind of thought that Thanos was bad, but Ultron took it to a whole other level where he's going
Jesus,
after
Yeah.
everybody in the multiverses and whatnot. It's like, geez,
hide your
this guy
kids,
really
hide your family. Ultron getting everybody out
yeah,
here.
he wanted to take everything out, and even
Yeah.
the Watcher, he was even like he was scared, he was
That's what
scared of
freaked me out.
Ultron.
If he was scared, then it's time to run.
Yeah,
Yep.
he had to go and actually go for help,
Hmm.
going for Stephen Strange, the emo Doctor Strange, and I thought the guy was left for dead, but no, he was
Yeah.
he was still kicking and alive, and it was cool to kind of see his redemption story, where he
Hmm.
made mistakes and he did things that he regrets, but ultimately in the end, he was able to do something to kind of redeem himself. So it was a good
Yeah.
good arc for one Doctor Strange. Um, and then you get to see Wanda come out again as a zombie,
Yeah,
she's born. It's like, oh yeah, we brought the zombies because of her. You don't got to worry about them. You got to worry about her. And then you get to see what kind of happened was with Thanos. So I enjoyed this episode for what it was. I thought it was a good way to end the season. End it on a high note, but then the post credit scene also gave you something to really get excited about as well.
yeah,
We're used to, you know, seeing the Winter Soldier as one Bucky, and in this scenario, now we see that maybe Steve Rogers did survive the fall out of the train. And is he going to be the next Winter Soldier? And if so, is Peggy going to go ahead and meet up with him at some point? To me, that's a very interesting story arc. I actually enjoyed this story arc more than I enjoyed the original Captain America. I'm like, they should
Oh,
make this
yeah.
a movie. This is pretty cool, you
wow.
know?
I'm glad you liked it, man. I was unsure because I know you've been the most critical this season, but yeah,
Yeah, thank you.
solid, solid points on
Keep
all
it real.
fronts. Especially the them bringing back sort of the characters from the zombie episode, because out of all the ones that they didn't call back, that one sort of stood out. There might have been one or two others that would have been difficult to sort of make a reference to, but yeah, that one, they even found a way to include that episode into this one, and it was still like an epic moment. JC, have we said everything? Is there anything left, man? Go for it.
I'm trying to think. I think y'all covered this. That okay. There's the one big thing you haven't covered. How in the hell
Mm,
did Gamora get Thanos' armor? And
yeah.
why is Stark in
We'll find
a
out.
looking Hulk poster thing? Yeah, apparently that's an episode that they had ready but decided to push to
Hmm.
season 2.
Right.
So I don't know.
I hope it makes sense
Uh,
though. Like the
yeah,
fact that it's now technically out of order.
Makes
yeah.
me wonder.
They're
You
like a
know.
prequel of how we got here at this point, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So,
Like a How I
but
Met
it
Your
was,
Mother. How I Killed Your
yeah,
Father.
right. How I killed your father. Was it as easy as Ultron killing Thanos? Because that seemed to save a lot of time.
Jesus.
That's sort of
Have
how it
y'all
should
seen
have
that
ended, kind of
meme?
shit.
That Deadpool meme?
Yes, and it raised
Yes.
a lot of eyebrows. Like that can happen.
Oh
That
man.
that was a thing.
Yeah.
I think the
Uh,
crazy thing too that we haven't even talked about too is Zola being an AI.
Hmm.
Arnim Zola, yeah.
yeah.
That was
That was
that was
Uh,
interesting.
another great callback.
Yeah,
Um
Yeah.
and
But we'll
great
get into
that
that.
he yeah, great callback because that was also a great episode, the one with Arnim Zola using him as a virus
yeah.
to take down the other sentinels, the other robots. Great callback, and I love that there's this power struggle, right? Like he's okay with taking down Ultron, like no ifs, ands, or buts about that, because he could have like I don't know, tried and broker some sort of truce or a deal with him, and then it would have been like all gone to hell. But instead, it takes down Ultron slash Vision, and then the episode ends with a power struggle between him and what's his name,
Killmonger.
Killmonger, which is
Killmonger.
insane. But yeah, they were always
I
saying
thought
like,
that was ridiculous.
"Do you think we can trust him? Do you think we can trust him?" And it
Well,
just goes to show you that he's always going to have sort of himself as priority number one, but above everything else.
it's interesting how we thought that when they announced the series, it was just going to be kind of a side story thing, no really ties to the MCU. Now there could be,
Right.
now everything's wide open. Obviously, with the passing of Chadwick Boseman, are they going to give it to Suri? Or are they going to bring back Killmonger? Well, what if they pull Killmonger from this multiverse to do something with it?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's this kind of opens up a lot of doors, and this is going to get really confusing really fast when they start going into the multiverse as well. So, but this one was better than I thought it was going to be. I thought we were going to get a hint of some sort of like multiverse collision when I guess you can call him Psycho Strange in his solitary collapsed universe saw the Watcher himself for the first time. It's like, okay, they're setting something up there, and but it does make sense for Ultron to be the one to realize it. And, yeah, the Watcher's not going to get involved unless his ass is on the line. That's basically what it was.
Yeah.
This guy's trying to kill me. So, yeah,
Everything's all good to the shoes on the other foot.
yep.
I thought it was cool how you can see how quickly, and I know we saw this in Age of Ultron as well, but how quickly Voltron, do we want to call him, how quickly he was learning,
Yeah.
how quickly he was learning, because I mean he was confused like when he saw the Watcher, and he's like, "Where are you? How do I get to you?" And then he finally quickly discovers, at least it seems, the multiverse, where the Watcher was, and then he's just like, holy crap, there's so much more out there than I thought, like he only was focused on his own universe. So it was really cool to see, and scary to see how fast he was learning and adapting and just hungry, just taking over everything and literally eating a galaxy like freaking Galactus, So I thought it was really cool how they did that.
Anyone else think at the end when Watcher tells Widow, this universe doesn't have a Natasha? I was really hoping it was going to be our MCU, but the scene I do not recognize with the battle against Loki on a helicarrier. But
this one, this is that one episode where it was, or I forgot who it was, but they had said that Captain America and Miss Marvel were going to be battling the Lokis, and so as soon as I saw the helicarrier and all that going on, I was like, oh, it's not ours. That would have been very cool, though. That would have been a very cool way to bring her back. That way we can have her back in the
is
in
it
the real
the
world.
one where Hank Pym was the bad guy? Because I think Natasha died in that one.
That might be it. I think when they mentioned it, yeah.
Honestly, don't remember.
And that was one of the only episodes I think they didn't reference back to. So, hey, there you go. We referenced pretty much all of them, really.
It's funny if they had made that to be the Prime MCU, we'll just call it that. And this lawsuit with Johansson and Disney had kept on going. Can you imagine how awkward that would have been?
Yeah.
I think in the Prime timeline, or the sacred timeline, if you will, that's it. She's done. I mean, I don't even think she provided the voice acting, if I'm not mistaken, for the show. So, yeah. But on a side note, I'm glad they settled that lawsuit. The details aren't released, but I'm pretty sure Scarlett was compensated fairly. It's really ultimately what she all wanted out of that. So, but yeah, that would have been awkward if they had made it the Prime timeline. They're like, what are we gonna do now? So,
but who knows? Maybe now that this is settled, hopefully everything is okay. Maybe they could bring her back at some point.
Yeah, it's possible. It's like it's almost like it's if somebody dies, we'll just go to the multiverse and pull them in. It's got to be, don't that kind of thing.
And I'll keep saying it's the same thing that I think it's the same scenario with Robert Downey Jr. If you play a character for this long, like you want to be done. You want to be done. You want to move on. There's very few actors that want to do the same thing forever. I really can't think of one. Even Jamie Lee Curtis, who's like doing Halloween movies 40 years later, she had to stop for a time. She was like, "Kill me in the movies. I need to be done." So people get tired of it, unless you're Harrison Ford, who's well, no, he even got tired of Solo, but he's still doing Indiana Jones. So
yeah, because he wanted his character to die in Jedi, but then they just waited till episode 7 to do it. But
Tom
yeah,
Cruise,
the
Mission
Indiana Jones
Impossible.
thing.
That's the only guy who wants to keep doing movies forever. That's it.
Oh, that'll
And do
last
his own
forever.
stunts.
That's never going to end. That's
That
never
will
going
Look
to
at
end.
what happened with James
It's the
Bond.
power of Scientology.
Yeah.
With James
There you go.
Bond, the actors they kind of run their course and they have to bring in another Bond, because
They
like
gotta
you
be
said,
done.
they get tired
They
of
want to
it.
be done.
But that one at least makes sense because it's known to be different Bonds. But
Sure.
I mean, with people like Indiana Jones, I mean, he had a son in the Crystal Skull. So at that point, it's like, okay, it's
We
going to
don't
move
talk
on
about
to.
Crystal Skull. Just shut the fuck up. We don't talk about Crystal Skull. Golly.
Come on, Shia LaBeouf.
There you go.
Yeah, Shia LaBeouf.
Mutt.
But
What was it? Mutt.
yeah. It's funny you mentioned the Bonds. Have you guys seen the theory that the movie The Rock, that was really the Sean Connery Bond that was locked up in Alcatraz and
Explain
escaped?
that. Explain that for those who
Okay,
haven't seen
so
that theory.
for those that haven't seen it, so the idea that all these different Bonds, these different actors, each one is their own James Bond timeline.
Right.
And so when one thing about James Bond, if he's ever captured something, he's disavowed. They don't have any knowledge of him as a 00 agent. So the idea being that there's, I forget where they said he was captured in The Rock, but he's got a hand on some conspiracy theories. They locked him away. He's coming under the assumed name of John Mason, because if they look up James Bond 007, that can tie that back to the British government. He escapes, he makes his way elsewhere, but there's so many unique skills that he has that are so similar to something James Bond would have had in the history.
Sure.
I just read it, and after reading this article about it, this theorizing it, I went back and watched The Rock. I was like, huh. And for me personally, Sean Connery is my favorite of the James Bond actors too. He had the best movies, so that really did kind of tie it full circle. And I'm wondering what other kind of The Rock type movies are they going to make, and are we going to get like an old Pierce Brosnan playing an escapee that they need to, he's been locked up, kind of hidden away, kind of thing.
That's pretty cool.
I just thought it was a cool theory. Look it up; it'd be pretty cool to have that. Everything does timelines now. It's crazy, but yeah,
It's the end thing to do.
Yeah.
Isn't there some sort of continuity between Brosnan's 007 and the current one, Daniel Craig? Aren't there like aren't there like one or two characters that are in both franchises?
Well, there's always one like actor or actress or something that stayed in every single Bond movie, up until obviously they pass and they find someone that's a tie in. But the idea is that they're different stories or different timeline stories. They're not all the same person.
No,
But
different
that's kind of the one tradition of the Bond films, is that you have that one actor that plays oh god, what's the guy that makes all the gadgets?
Q.
Q. You always have the one actor that always plays Q, and even up until the Brosnan films, and then that actor retired, and they got a new actor. He's still continued to play Q, if I'm not mistaken. So that's kind of the tradition in Bond films. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Awesome. I think Brosnan is my favorite only because I grew up watching those and I played his video games, and those are the best video games
GoldenEye.
at the time. So it's
Definitely
hard
GoldenEye. Yeah, that's classic.
it's hard to vote against Brosnan.
Favorite Bond movie?
Who's going to be playing Dr. Fate, by the way? Pierce Brosnan is officially in the DC universe, and that's like, that's freaking amazing. Brosnan's going to be Dr. Fate. Pretty dope.
Very cool.
This would be the second live action Dr. Fate, right? Because Smallville had Dr. Fate, and then
Smallville had one. Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I don't think any other movies or anything.
That helmet fuck with his brain too in Smallville. Let me tell you.
Does everybody have a favorite Marvel's What If episode? Jericho, I know yours is not the zombies, but what's your favorite, man?
Oh gosh.
Because it scared you.
Zombie was
Because it
awful.
scared you.
It didn't scare me. Shut the. I'm gonna say honestly, this last two, the two-part finale. I think that has
Nice.
to be my top favorite now. Now that the whole season's been shown, yeah, I think it's just there's a lot going on, but it was just really cool. Basically, tied up the whole season. So I don't
Yeah.
know if season 2 will be a continuation or how they're gonna do it. Maybe a separate, story going through.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I would say the two-part finale.
Sweet, sweet. JC, same question, man. Do you have a favorite episode?
T'Challa became Star-Lord. I think it was the second one, just
Yeah.
for good guy Thanos. That's still so funny. It's like, well, it sounds like genocide, but it's not.
It's not. It's not.
I just thought it was great to hear Thanos trying to justify why it's not genocide, and no one really, he's a good guy. So
and not like once, like
he
pretty much the whole episode was him trying to justify it.
Everybody,
trying to tell
everybody
everyone,
around
somebody,
yeah,
one person at least agree with me.
Yeah,
somebody has to agree. You know who might agree? Joe, what's been your favorite episode, man?
I like the first one with Peggy Carter as Captain America.
Yeah.
Carter.
I really liked that one. I thought it really set things off, and I enjoyed it. I liked seeing Peggy Carter as, Captain America, donning that persona. I don't know what her actual name was in the show. It was Captain, but it was Captain Peggy Carter. I believe that's what they addressed her as, and she had
something like that.
the British flag adorned across the shield, and I liked her, as playing Captain, the Captain Peggy Carter. So I would have
you know what,
actually
and I
that
like
on a big screen.
Yeah, for sure. That would be pretty cool. And I think this was also a way to give Peggy Carter justice for the show not lasting more than one season. I mean, I don't know if y'all saw it, but the show was great.
I loved it.
Agent Carter, it was a great show.
Yeah, he liked it. Yeah,
I think this is a nice way to give her that justice for being able to play the character more, and especially in a different iteration, a different version of her.
I forgot that it was only one season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Can we talk about Tony not surviving, and with the exception of the Sakaar? Like, Tony didn't survive any other episodes.
No. And
he was just destined to die.
Yeah.
Yep. And I was gonna
sucks.
say, one of my favorite episodes. I really think it's probably Killmonger, the Killmonger episode, and for all the reasons I stated before, like it was such a complex plan that he put into play, and you just see how formidable he is as a villain, where he's able to, put two countries, two armies against one another, play both sides, just play everybody like a fiddle, and nobody saw it coming except for Shuri is the only person that thought anything was kind of fishy, and he really pulled it off. So I think the Killmonger episode was just really like eye opening, that he was able to just be so precise in executing his plan, and it ended up working out. Even we see when the Watcher actually goes and picks these people out of their timelines to bring this team together, and when he goes to get Killmonger, he looks like he's already destroyed Wakanda. Like the palace looks like it's in shambles. The glass is broken behind him. Like he probably was like destroying Wakanda at the time, or something like that. And I wonder if pretty much. And I wonder if season 2 is going to have all new stories. Totally down with that. But now Marvel, nothing surprises me now with Marvel. They were able to do the thing I thought they could do. The most the most potential of this What If series would be to have a big culmination at the end, have a story where all these characters in their own universes have to team up, and I thought that was too big of a challenge for them. We shut my ass up, so they actually pulled it off, and it was great, and I absolutely loved it. So season two can either be completely new stories, and I don't mind that whatsoever, or maybe it could be revisiting some of these timelines, like the Killmonger one, like the Captain Carter one, and seeing how that story continues. And I'm down with that too. Yeah, that'd be dope. I don't care what they do. Marvel, they can do no wrong unless it's Inhumans or Iron Man
Or Eternals,
3
3.
or Eternals.
or Thor 2. Hey, Eternals is yet to be seen,
We haven't
sir.
seen
Yet
it
to
yet,
be
so we
Eternals
seen.
has
can't.
Selma
Yeah.
Hayek. It's gonna be the best movie in the entire
Telling you.
MCU just because she's in it.
I'm telling you, man. I can smell a
God
stinker.
damn. No. With Selma Hayek, you shut your fucking mouth. No way, dude. She's a
The movie's
goddess.
gonna be horrible.
Shut.
You watch.
No.
We might as well just kind of talk a little bit of Eternals real quick. The Eternals is dropping November 5th, and they pretty much rule in the poster game. So the marketing for Eternals has been fantastic. If you want to see the most beautiful movie posters ever, go to our Facebook page after this video and just scroll through the timeline, or go to our stories. Go to our stories, and you'll see every Eternals poster that they dropped for IMAX, Dolby Cinema. They have character posters, close-up shots of Salma, Angelina Jolie, the entire
Yes.
cast, and they look incredible. They look
Sold.
incredible.
Nah, I'm
Um,
not a fan of the costumes, man. I'll be honest. It kind of gives me Inhuman vibes, bro.
no, not that bad. They're not that bad. They really are. Come on, man.
I'm telling you, you don't want to listen.
We'll see what happens. The only thing that we're learning
Yeah.
is kind of what I expected. This is going to be a really long movie.
Yeah.
It's just over 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours, right? The runtime finally came out. Two
Yeah,
post-credit
and
scenes, right? Yeah.
yeah, a mid and a post. So Jericho, don't go anywhere when the movie's over,
Did you
sir.
learn your
Can't
lesson
make
by now?
promises, man.
Down,
If
sir.
he
Yeah.
goes with the family, he can't make promises, man. He's got kids. He's got little ones.
Yeah, bro.
Just tell
They
them there's
gotta
more to the
learn.
movie. They'll wait.
They gotta
Remy
learn.
will wait around. You know that.
It's like, y'all go to the car. I'll stay here.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They're gonna learn. Don't go nowhere. Nobody leaves when
Yeah.
the movie's over. And so kind of one of the things that I was talking about on the show already was that the trailers were getting sort of a backstory, like when they first arrive, and then we're getting a big flash forward of like hundreds or thousands of years later, where the Eternals are sort of separated. They're living their own lives. So I was like, this is going to be a really long movie. There's a lot to cover here. And I also think the trailers have done a good job of hiding a lot. We've seen the deviants, but I think there's a lot more at play. There's a lot more going on, because you really just can't leave it at deviants are attacking. So it's Marvel Phase 4. All the stakes are high,
Yeah, but
right?
deviants don't look like that, man. That's all I'm saying.
Just wait, just wait. I think we're gonna see variations of them, and I think there might be bigger, stronger forces at play. There's a reason why these guys are like the Watchers. They can't intervene, and now they have to. You have to make sure the story is big enough, the stakes are high enough to force them to intervene.
It better be something grandiose, man, because if it's just some BS that they slap together, I'm telling you, man, this is what this thing is throwing.
Marvel.
I don't care.
Can you ever just go in
we
with
can
like
stop
an open
doubting it.
mind and like
I'm
no
just telling you,
expectations
man.
and just
I'm just
enjoy it?
being
Can
honest.
you ever?
I'm
Is
just
that
being
possible?
honest. I'm keeping it real,
He's made up
JC.
his
I'm
mind,
not going to
man.
go ahead
He's
and
made
just
up
like
his mind.
everything that
We
has
can-
a
I'm
Marvel
not asking you to
sticker
like
on it.
everything, but just you come in like shitting on it, like, oh, I haven't seen this movie yet, but it's already a
Just telling
2
you
out of
from what I'm
5.
telling you, man. I'm
Pricey
just getting
shit.
the vibe. I'm getting the vibe.
But I'm
We
still
need
gonna
to-
watch it.
We need to
Yeah.
stop doubting Marvel. We need to stop doubting Marvel.
My
Yeah.
Peter Tingle's going off.
Oh God.
There you go. That's your problem. You're calling it a Peter Tingle.
Oh man.
Uh,
Anyways, that's Marvel's Eternals dropping November 5th, and we can't wait. We can't wait to see it together,
Oh,
hopefully, and we can't
I
wait
can
to
wait,
review it.
Ted. Maybe I'll get it for free or something.
Jesus.
We'll see what happens.
One of us can wait.
Yeah.
You know what?
All right.
I'll let Jericho watch it, and then he can just tell me what happened.
I'll lie.
There you
If
go.
I absolutely hated it, I'll tell you, dude, you were so wrong on all levels. Go see it now.
Best
It's
movie
just
To
ever.
mess with you.
He's gonna
he's
make
gonna
up a new
recap it like
post-credit
Luis.
scene.
He's gonna recap it like Luis does in Ant-Man. So be ready for that long explanation of a
Okay, bro.
two and
Let
a
me
half
tell you what
hour
happened.
movie, Luis style. And then that one guy, and then this, and then that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
All right, that was Marvel talk. We're gonna switch to the other side and talk a little bit of DC. And man, if you're a big fan of Titans, listen. Like this isn't us hating on it. We
Yeah, you are.
enjoy tons of things DC, but we're just gonna be super critical when we have to be, right? So if you're watching this, please don't stop and join the conversation. First off, we want to hear from you guys what you thought about the finale of Marvel's What If series. Let us know in the comments or send us a message and give us your thoughts on it. And then please join the conversation and let us know what you thought about DC Titans episode number 11. The call is coming from inside the house.
Dun,
Where do
dun,
we
dun.
start? Where do we start? Um,
What was the last time we really like talked Titans? It's been a
it
few
was 2
episodes, right?
weeks ago. Jericho and I
Yeah,
talked about Souls, right, Jericho?
right.
And
But Ted got
September.
bitter. Remember, he didn't like one of the episodes, and I think he got tired of Titans. He said it was bad.
it's been multiple. I've actually had a pretty negative reaction to majority of the episodes. Souls was actually a great shift in tone, and we got to see
Yeah.
Hawk again, so that was
Yeah,
fun. But then there was also a lot of like inconsistencies, things that didn't make sense. And so Jericho and I talked about them. Like, how you gonna try and tell Hawk he can come back when his body was blown to bits? Like, there's nothing to come back to, Hawk. You ain't going nowhere, son.
comes back in
But
a
he got
different
to,
body and shit. It's like, yeah,
who knows? But he got to hang out with his BFF at the end, so that kind of made up for it.
yeah.
But here we are talking about episode number 11, in which case Crane is taking over Wayne Manor, and Starfire gets shot. Don't know why. Um,
Because she doesn't have
Big
her powers
Boy,
anymore.
Beast Boy's obsessed with a Lazarus pit. Why? Nobody knows. Nobody has a clue. The Raven's
He's trying
back.
to help his
She's
best
not doing.
friend, trying to figure out what happened.
There's nothing. They're they're not going to explain it, and you know this. Listen, they're not going to explain it. You know this already. We already talked
They
about
they have they have to
we already
give
talked about
our
Donna saving Bruce and how nothing got
yeah.
explained. Donna saves Bruce after she comes back. 5 seconds later, saves Bruce. She's the only one who doesn't know where he is. She's the only one who shouldn't know where he is. And they
Yeah.
don't talk about it again. Anyways, what
Not
else is
yet.
happening? And no, it's not. There's
There's
no
2 episodes
follow up.
left
I'm
to work with.
There's
So
I
stay
nothing.
still
tuned.
think they're gonna explain it at some point, but I agree the way they're handling it. She should have mentioned, like I told you the other day,
No,
while she's helping them, like, oh, by the way, Bruce was about to kill himself. I saved him. We'll talk about that later.
no, not gonna
It's gonna
happen.
happen.
Just like they didn't talk about Bruce in season 2 wasn't the one leading the team to find out whatever they're trying to resolve. I don't even remember because it doesn't matter anymore because that was a subplot they didn't even go
Yeah.
back and touch on. Anyways, I'm gonna say this, and I say this a lot about every episode. It's so disjointed. This season of Titans is so disjointed. I don't feel like I don't feel like these episodes are happening back to back. I don't feel like these stories are like intertwined at all. I feel like this week stuff happens, and next week doesn't matter because it doesn't tie into this week, and last week didn't tie into this week. It just feels like multiverses. Things are happening just because. How many times has somebody been shot in front of Jason Todd now, and he's on the verge of like his redemption? Like, this is getting annoying now, and I don't understand. I don't get it. All right, I'm gonna let somebody else talk now. JC, why don't you say stuff?
Stuff. Yeah, I get it. The plot is it's kind of everywhere. Souls was definitely a change. We thought we're getting in the right direction.
Souls is cool.
Souls was very cool. Right after that, Starfire getting her powers taken away, and it's like, whoa, where did this come from? And
it comes from nowhere.
Yeah, well, they do explain it. They do explain that she never wasn't born with any. They gave her some of Blackfire's power, and Blackfire simply, probably knowingly or unknowingly, took it back. And for her getting shot, and then almost like it awoke her true ability that had been dormant all this time, which is the Starfire abilities that we've known for so long, the ones that we've seen so many times in comics and cartoons and whatever iteration. So that's been the one interesting thing about Starfire at this point is like, I don't recall her ever having some sort of fire ability like she's had,
Yeah.
So that this is one way to explain how she's getting it. So it took 3 seasons, but they got there. I think it's one thing they've made really interesting was the fact that they put the social media video, the fake news, if you will, that the Titans are, manipulating citizens and Red Hood's the hero and everyone's believing it. And, they all attack Nightwing after he's won the fight against Red Hood. And then, maybe that's how they bring Bruce back. Bruce is going to be the one to save his life or something. So I don't know. They got to explain this somehow. They got 2 episodes to do it. It's definitely a different tone than the first 2 seasons.
How many Bat family members have been shot in this season? This is the 3rd already.
I don't know if the writers were tripping acid when they were on quarantine or something, or say, hey, what if we did this? Let's do this. So, but
the best part of this episode was TLC's Waterfalls at the beginning. I was like, hey, I like that song. And then that was it. That was the best part of this episode.
Okay, I got to be completely honest with you. That's probably not the first song I would listen to if I had the entire Wayne Manor to myself.
Yeah,
it's probably old time rock and roll. I'm talking some risky business shit. That's probably what I'll be doing if I have Wayne Manor to myself. But
you'd be wearing the cowl.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly like Tom Cruise in a risky business. I'll be doing that.
Just wearing the cowl.
Yeah, exactly.
Joe, your thoughts on DC Titans episode number 11? Anything that you liked, sir, that I can't think of?
No, because I don't watch them.
Hey, that's right.
That's right. You're binging the season when it's done. That was what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it Jericho, man.
I don't know if you should though. I really don't think you should. I don't think a binge is gonna help. Listen. You know what?
Forward through the parts I don't like.
There you go.
So I'll let season.
I want to let Jericho talk, but I'm going to say something first because I think it might help shed a light on a gripe that I really have. Okay. Whoever's writing the show doesn't know what to do with Connor, and they keep copping out by benching him in the plot and thinking that's going to be an easy way to not have an overpowered half Kryptonian save the day. And
like seriously, Nightwing, why the hell are you bringing Kryptonite Dust into to Connor and Crypto? Like, why? You need him. I don't know.
Like the moral of season 3 should be you can't do anything alone. He already learned. Grayson already learned this lesson with Barbara. Grayson was trying to do stuff by himself and it blew up in his face and it got Hawk killed. And then Barbara started doing stuff by herself and that didn't work either. Like, the moral of the story is don't go do shit by yourself. You guys are a team for a reason. And if you have a half Kryptonian, like, you need to take him with you. But it's the only way to have Grayson versus Red Hood battle. And I'm not going to use the term lazy writing, but, like, you really need to find something else for Connor to do if you don't want him to put Red Hood in his place. Like, have Red Hood set off a decoy. He has explosives rigged to blow on a building.
A kryptonite trap in that respect. Yeah, that would
absolutely
be
right.
Sense. Yeah,
that's what Luther would do. Like, hey, Superman, you want to stop me, but that train is set to explode. Go over there first. Like, I'm not trying to say it's easy by any means, but it's so blatantly obvious that you don't know what to do with Connor, so you're having to find really awkward ways to get him out of the shot, get him out of the story. Anyways, Jericho, do you feel the same way? I feel like this is more than one time where they've done this to him.
Oh, I totally agree. Or they put him on like crab missions with other people
Yeah, you're on bathroom
just to do
duty.
it.
You have to clean the bathroom.
Yeah.
You can't go with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the highlight for Connor this season is making the not the detonator. What was it? The whatever to stop the bomb. You know.
Yeah.
No, the highlight was
Super-
banging Blackfire. The highlight was Connor getting something this season. That's the highlight for Connor.
True.
He didn't even save Hank's life, but he got some. So hey, congratulations, Superboy. You're laying the pipe.
And he probably never had to talk. Just saying, he never had to talk yet.
No, he just
Hey, but
walked in the room.
he's half Luther, so he can figure it out. He's pretty smart.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
in the bedroom, he's all Kent. So, yeah.
But I agree. I mean, they're giving him crab missions. They're watering him down quite a bit. I feel like him and Gar are the only ones not really doing much.
Nothing.
And poor Gar. I mean, this is 3 seasons of him not developing his powers by any means.
Right.
We get hints of it by him watching videos and stuff, and you know, like getting that little feeling that he can change it to something else. But that's it. So with him too, I mean, it's just poor development on both of them. I mean, without crapping on the whole season, I feel like there's just a lot going on that, like you said, it's different stories going on. They're not continuous. It's like a child is telling you a story of something that happened at school, and they're just like all over the place, you know, and you're having to ask follow-up questions and, well, what happened here? And I don't understand that. What bothers me with this season and this episode is Nightwing being sloppy, you know, with going to fight Red Hood. Like you said, he could have easily taken Connor with him, have him at a distance, you know, have him on standby instead of, you know, making him unable to do anything. And Crypto too. I don't know. Like I know Jason said not to bring anyone, but how's he going to know that, you know, that Connor's nearby? He could be miles away, and you know what I mean. So, I don't know. Like I'm curious to see how the next 2 episodes are going to be, but it hasn't been a good season.
No, it hasn't. It
hasn't. And
it's an impossible task to try and write 2 more episodes that are going to somehow tie all of these tangled web of mess of storylines together. Why is Gar obsessed with the Lazarus Pit? Like, sure, it brought Jason back. Yeah, it might have some adverse side effects. But beyond that, based on the comics and our knowledge of the Lazarus Pit, I can't fathom there's going to be anything that's going to help push the story forward. All it's probably going to do is Grayson's dead, and they're going to be like, I know how we can bring him back. And then they're just going to throw him in the pit, and that's it.
Maybe. Or even Nightwing, too. Nightwing gets shot, so maybe they'll throw him in the pit because Gar knows what it can do. And now that Raven's back, too. Raven knew that Nightwing was in trouble. You know, we saw at the end there. So, I don't know. It's just...
But she didn't know Bruce was in trouble?
But she wasn't there. She was in Themyscira.
No, that's fine. But Donna somehow knew. Like, make it make sense.
Tell you, the last 2 episodes, they're gonna explain it.
Nothing.
It's gonna be before the credits roll. Like, oh, guys, by the way. But I think what also gets me too is like what's his name? Is it Tim Drake?
Tim, yeah.
The kid, yeah. Like he came back. I mean, is he not gonna, like, obviously he's probably not gonna become, you know, Robin at any point in the season, but
it won't happen overnight. Sorry.
Yeah. I just don't see how, like, why introduce him? You know, like he just seems like a fanboy at this point, and who kind of got in the
I imagine that might be a season 4 thing.
Yeah.
Looking ahead. That's my guess as to how they introduced that. Maybe he's
Sure.
if maybe they leave Gotham. This season's been about what's happening in Gotham, but they'll leave Gotham, and in the meantime, Drake will be living with Bruce or being mentored by Bruce, that kind of thing, during season 4. So that's my guess on that.
I think what's also getting me too is like with Jason, I know he's angry at the Titans and and he wants to end them, but at this point, I mean, I feel like Crane has betrayed him and put him through a lot.
Absolutely.
Where you would think even he would kind of pick up and say, maybe I shouldn't be with this guy anymore. Like maybe I should go on my own. Like I don't, or is he because he's supplying the drugs? I mean, I don't understand why
he's not taking it anymore.
He feels like he's getting lifted up, and then right when he's about to do something great, or he did do something great in Crane's eyes, he gets the rug pulled under. And then he gets thrown back down, but he's still there. He's still there like a loyal dog. Like I don't understand why. Crane's been this complete a-hole to him, and he's just still doing his bidding. But he still has an agenda against the Titans.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. I feel like at least probably on 2 separate occasions there was like a moment where like, oh, this is where his redemption happens.
Yeah.
We're that close. Nope. He lets Tim Drake get shot, doesn't call EMS, doesn't try and save him. Feeling bad after Hank died, all that stuff, like none of that matters anymore. Like he doesn't deserve to live now. And I know that sucks to say, but it's like we had golden opportunities for him to turn this around and be like, I'm sorry, I'll never betray you guys again. Let's take down Crane. I feel like that moment's passed. Now I just don't want it. I don't want it.
Yeah.
I don't want to see him come back because it's just been too long. It's gotten too bad.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I think he was introduced too quickly as Red Hood. I mean, it should have been like the comics where he gets killed, maybe doesn't come back for 2 or 3 episodes at least, and then and then they bring him, and it turns out he's working with Crane this whole time, all that. But so I feel like they've really derived a lot from the comics, which is fine, but at the same time, it's not making sense at all. Like it's just it's ridiculous. It's all over the place.
So weird.
Yes.
I don't know how this makes sense to anybody. Even writers in the writers' room, like we're not. I don't know. The story isn't good enough. Is what I feel like is what it is. Like we don't have something worthy enough to put on the small screen. We really don't. I feel like that's what it really is. I don't know, man.
I'll say, they've improved from season 1. Season 1 was good. There was a good introduction to them. Season premiere of season 2 was a kind of a letdown because Trigon? He was like briefly there, even though he was teased the entire season. But season 2 was better, just not amazing. So when season 3 was announced and Red Hood and all that, I'm like, let's go, let's do it, let's see. And I'm like, did they get new writers? I mean, did the pandemic really affect people that much? Like, I don't understand. I'm not saying that I could write anything better, but I feel like we're just watching people in costumes make their own story up. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't. It's just everywhere.
It is. That's why I keep saying it feels disjointed. It feels like these episodes don't tie together week to week. I have no stock. I'm not engaged. I'm not engaged with what happens to anybody. And Nightwing's like one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
And yet, like, I'm like, dude, you're like going AWOL again. Like, this doesn't feel like it's a natural progression of this character's arc. It does not feel like any of these characters are having just a genuine arc of any kind. Nobody's learning anything. Everybody's making the same mistakes.
Even Barbara, like,
learning.
she used to be Batgirl, and you legit are gonna go. I know she thought it was Bruce that was calling her, but I mean, you're legit gonna go, in a dark alley or whatever by yourself, knowing you're limited to a point, and I just, and I don't know. I feel like she, like when I forgot what her name was able to take a picture of her and all that. It just like, how do you slip up that much? Like, how do you allow that much to go on?
It's
I
weird,
don't
man.
know. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Or
weird.
even Nightwing to get shot. So much. I mean, for him to have gotten shot, as soon as he saw the mob of people, go somewhere else. Take Red
Yeah,
Hood somewhere else. Take him away from there. Go back to where the burning car was. Like go back there. But why are you going to be around a mob of people, especially if you're public enemy number one?
absolutely.
Yeah,
Make it make sense.
yeah,
Oh man, listen. We want to love this show,
yeah,
and it sounds really bad. We want to love this show so much, and it just nothing feels authentic. Nothing feels real. These stories don't matter. They don't make a lick of sense. Um, like, do we still even know why Starfire is having these weird visions? Like, maybe this episode makes sense because
yeah.
this is where she gets shot. Is that really the only tie to this mother and her baby? Like, other than that, like, why did she have all the other nightmares and the visions where she's waking up in random places? Like, what did those have to do with anything? Like, make it make sense. Please
Yeah.
make it make sense. I don't
And
know.
with her, it's been going on, I think, since season one, pretty much, right? I mean, she
Just
woke up
flashes
with
of it.
amnesia
Yeah.
and all that. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I don't
Yep.
know,
Which I don't know if
Talk.
they've ever explained that amnesia completely. So
not at
yeah.
all.
I still don't even know why
Nope.
she was dressed up as a hooker, like working for a drug dealer, kingpin, whatever he was. Like, why did
They
that?
never explained it either.
Yeah.
I'm thinking she had the amnesia and thought she was somebody else at one point. I mean, I don't know. I can't even make anything up, to be honest with you.
No, you can't.
Like,
You can't. It just how I said, like, Blackfire, like, was captured off screen between seasons
yeah,
2 and 3, and they never explained that either. Oh, it just
Yeah.
happened. Blackfire just got caught, even though
hmm
she can really fight and hold her own and stuff. Nope, she got caught and was being tested on. Blah blah blah. So strange. Season 4, if it happens, it probably will. I think it already was been announced. They
Yeah.
really need to get off of these single villain seasons, and they need to focus on like a major organization, whether it's Hive, whether it's like a smaller version of the Injustice League or
yeah.
something. Maybe somebody starting controlling Justice League members. And I know you can't show a whole lot of Justice League members, but you better figure something out because you have to have a reason to put this team together. And there's no reason right now. There's absolutely no reason why this team needs to be assembled because they aren't accomplishing anything as a team. It's weird.
They're just
They haven't seen a
they're honestly making things worse. I mean, they fell
yes.
into the trap of letting the water supply get contaminated. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. What kind of BS was that? Like Crane didn't expect them to show up, but when they did, they blew up the thing that allowed the water to get contaminated. Really? God.
oh man,
What in the
yeah.
world?
I want to
I've
find something
never
to enjoy about the show, but I can't right now.
I never watched Inhumans, but I can't imagine Inhumans was much worse than this. And that's saying
Inhumans
a
was
lot.
bad. Inhumans was really bad.
I mean, you're gonna look, Joe. Since you've seen both, I mean, since you've seen Inhumans, after you binge Titans, I want you to tell us which one is better. And
Yeah,
I really want.
I
I
can
don't know if
tell
I'm
you
ever
that
gonna watch Inhumans.
it's probably gonna Titans is probably gonna be better than Inhumans. Inhumans was really bad, dude.
I
From
don't
the
know.
acting to the
Don't
costumes,
know.
the story. I mean, it was horrible, horrible.
I don't know. I'm trying to think. Listen, we're gonna stop talking about Titans like really soon here, but like, name another team up show where they're never a team. Power Rangers, um,
yeah.
Agents of Shield, um, Inhumans.
It's
I'm sure
and
the
it's not
Inhumans
even
fought together all
it's
the
not,
time.
yeah. it's not even like the fact that they're all on side missions, but it doesn't feel like, yeah, like you said, like they're a team.
Do they
and,
ever
and they
check
always
in with each other?
they meet
Probably
they meet
not.
up at Wayne Manor. Somebody walks in, usually Nightwing walks in, and they're telling him, like, here's our plan. He's like, no, scratch that, we're doing this, I need you over here. Connor, you stay here, cook some dinner. Like, I mean, come on.
Gar and Raven are just over here like playing, I don't know, Mystery of Scooby Doo or something, and like not once are they ever concerned with, we should really check on everybody else and see what they're doing. We've already lost one team member he was blown up. We had another one quit. We should probably like pay more close attention to people instead of letting them like go off by themselves and getting themselves killed or hurt. And no, that doesn't happen. There's still like there's no team in any of this thing. Even though they absolutely know Red Hood can take them out one by one. Divide and conquer. We're not gonna fall for that again. 10 episodes later, they're still falling for it. It's so weird.
It's
So weird.
that horror movie trope where it's like, let's all separate and find the bad guy, and they're all going to die individually.
Let's just get into the running car. Are you crazy?
Let's hide behind those chains over there.
It's funny you mentioned what other show, a team up show, and they don't really team up. Doom Patrol. Because let's face, they don't exactly team up. They just get crazy stuff happening. But season 3 has been hilarious.
It's more understandable with Doom Patrol though. Like,
isn't that wild? That's wacky.
Yeah.
As wacky as Doom Patrol, or I'll even name another one, Legends of Tomorrow, as zany and as wacky as those storylines are. We're talking about time traveling, getting rid of like who knows, just dictators in the wrong century, dinosaurs out of time, like everything you can think of. Serial killers, stopping them from happening. Like that's Legends of Tomorrow, and all that makes far more sense than Titans does. It shouldn't be this hard.
And they still have a continuous story as well.
It makes all the sense. And people learn and they grow as characters, and they're like, I'm never gonna make that mistake again. And they don't. Even stubborn ass John Constantine learns from his mistakes by the end of the episode and never does it again. And that doesn't happen in Titans. Nightwing is still going off and getting himself shot all by himself, even though he has a bulletproof, half Kryptonian ally at his side. Nope, I'm gonna go off by myself. I can handle it
all by myself.
Jesus, man! All right, we're gonna stop talking about.
I got this.
We're gonna stop talking about Titans, but we're not gonna stop talking about DC, gentlemen. There is light at the end of the tunnel. DC Fandom is this weekend, Saturday, October 16th. It starts at 10 a.m. Pacific, and that is noon our time, noon Central. And we will be not involved in the event, but we will be pretty much live doing a commentary, at least myself. Let's say that for sure. At least me doing a live commentary and recap for the event.
Like, we are?
It's going to be...
That is, anyway.
It's going to start, like I said, 10 a.m. Pacific, noon Central, and will be approximately 4 hours long. And we'll at least do a recap the week after to kind of go over the biggest highlights and the biggest stories dropping from DC Fandom 2021. But you can already mark your calendar for this Saturday because we're at least getting a brand new trailer for The Batman featuring Robert Pattinson. Everybody's very excited about that. I imagine we're getting at least a teaser for Black Adam. It's been long enough. A teaser's on the way. Maybe a teaser for Shazam 2 Fury of the Gods. Possibly. And then
maybe a full trailer.
I would I would also imagine The Flash getting our first trailer or teaser for The Flash, which has been in production for a while, and you can put a 30-second teaser together for DC Fandom. They've had enough time. They knew about this thing, so I imagine they've done all that stuff. Um, Other than that, I probably expect all your favorite shows to have panels, Q&As with the stars, The Flash, Stargirl,
Young
um,
Justice.
Young Justice. We're getting a
Mhm.
major content for Young Justice. And it's very exciting. Young Justice season 4, which will be titled Young Justice Phantoms, got a great poster from friend of the show, Christopher Jones. Actually drew the poster for season 4, which is on our Facebook page. Shout out to Chris, who I got to get him back on the show. I
Mhm.
got to, even though I can't ask about anything because it's super secret. But still, Christopher Jones,
Just to chat. Just to chat.
absolutely
Yeah.
beautiful artwork for the season 4 poster. And I also imagine there's probably 2 or 3 announcements of things we've never even heard of before. Um, we've already heard of like Batgirl, we've already heard of like Green Lantern Corps, but I imagine there's probably 2 or 3 projects are going to announce that we have absolutely no idea are coming, and that would be pretty exceptional. That would be great if we were to get announcements for anything really.
Krypton
I
season 3, please. Yeah,
That would be dope.
Yeah,
that would be
I
awesome.
imagine there's going to be
Please.
some new things out there. We know that
they'll probably
Gotham
do
PD is
something for
coming.
Aquaman too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
something. They'll definitely probably talk to them at least.
Yeah.
Production, I think, is just really early on that. But yeah. So,
Mhm.
DC
Do you think they're
Fandom.
going to have anything in regards to the Blue Beetle?
Yes. Right?
Hopefully.
They already announced that it's in pre-production. They already announced the lead character, Zolo Mariduena, I believe is his name,
Yeah.
and who's one of the star of Cobra Kai the series.
Yep.
And so that would be dope as well. I really hope, and this is a big big hope. They'll announce some sort of continuation. I'm not expecting a full blown continuation, just something from the Snyderverse. That could be another Justice League, but that's like the least thing that I expect. Maybe an Affleck project. That would be something kind of one step up that could possibly happen. HBO Max Affleck project. Just do it and then be done with it after that. So
No, never be done with it. Never be done with it. See the full vision.
I just want one more thing. I know that's like probably a lot to ask for, but the Snyder cut, no matter what side you're on, was a success. It
Mhm.
was seen hundreds of millions of times around the world. That's a fact.
By 10.
Mhm. And if you weren't even sure, because HBO Max won't release official numbers, so they have to compile them from every single streaming service that's being used around the world, because not everybody has HBO Max. The DVD sales, the Blu-ray sales, the 4K sales for Snyder Cut have been through the roof.
Yep.
So that's your biggest indicator. In the US, which is the last country to like have Blu-ray sales for some reason for the Snyder Cut, that's your biggest indicator that it's been.
Probably because they wanted to keep it on an HBO Max exclusive as long as possible here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's to the point where the Blu-ray doesn't even have a digital copy, so you have to be watching on HBO Max. Yeah.
But think about this. Let's say you're right. They want to keep it on HBO Max for as long as possible. But in the back of their minds, they knew if they were to put in a physical copy, it would sell. They
Oh
knew
yeah.
that. And
Yeah.
so that's just money they were leaving on the table. Who in their right mind leaves money on the table, knowingly leaves that much money on the table? Usually everybody's like, hey, we'll put it on the streaming service and we'll put out a physical copy because you're going to do both.
Because
You're,
there's more money in people signing up for a streaming service and forgetting that they signed up for a streaming service, and they end up making more money from those people
you might,
who rather
might
than
be right,
rather
but
than
it
buy the
depends.
one-time
Blu-ray. Yeah.
purchase.
You
It's
might be
like
right.
it's like
But
signing up for a gym membership. They don't want the people that pay for it and go every day. They want the people that sign up, maybe go for a few weeks, but forget they have it, and then it's all the red tape to cancel it.
how
So,
long though before it's negligent? Like the
I mean,
Snyder Cut dropped March of last
this
year?
year,
This
this
year?
year,
This
hmm
year.
Hmm.
How
this
long
year.
before it's negligent? Like 3 months, 4 months, 6
Let's
months.
see what the DVD came out earlier this month, right? So it took
Yeah.
7 months to come out. Again, it's part of the whole exclusive rights deal. Movies have it, the exclusive streaming. It doesn't start to like. I'll use
Isn't it like
Shang-Chi as an
45
example.
days?
45 days for Shang-Chi
Yeah.
before it's going to be on
45
Disney
days is
Plus.
nuts.
Yeah, but that's short
In
by
comparison, though.
modern standards. Yeah,
That's what I'm
when you
saying. In
compare it
comparison,
to
that's nuts.
when you compare it to say Black Widow, which is just now off Premier Access, that took 90 days. 45 days, the window's getting shorter on that. So,
Yeah.
but this could have just been Warner Media. This could have been them being pissed off that they had to they had to listen to fans on this. They didn't like the fact that this was a better movie than the shit that they put out years ago. And now they got to live with it. And now we want the rest of it. And yeah, we're not going to shut up. So just deal with it. All right.
But nowadays, nobody really buys a lot of DVDs. Everybody's streaming everything.
Yeah, I honestly, I buy a Blu-ray for movies that aren't permanently set on a streaming service. I know they'll go away eventually, or if for movies that I really like. Uh, you know, uh, I pretty much have the entire DCE on Blu-ray because I'm a DC guy. I got to have those. Which by the way, it's on my Amazon wishlist. If anybody wants to get me the entire series of Smallville on Blu-ray because it's finally out,
Why wouldn't they?
by all means, yeah.
Why wouldn't they?
Christmas, So
there you go.
Yeah.
Other than DC fandom, we also released on our Facebook page Disney Plus Day is November 12th. So if you think fandom is going to be long and interesting, Disney Plus Disney Plus Day, is going to be even probably bigger, right? You got Disney content, Pixar content, Marvel content, Star Wars content, and throw National Geographic in there. And you better believe they're going to try and one up fandom. That's probably why they're coming after DC. So yeah, pretty awesome and epic. I'll get into some rapid fire Geeky Weekly headlines, and then we can call it a night. The Scream original 4K Ultra HD limited edition steelbook hit stores October 19th. And the reason why I bring that up is because Scream 5, yes, Scream 5, is going to drop on January 14th of next year, 2022. First look photos are now on our timeline. Scroll through it. There's like 10 or so photos. You got Ghostface, you got Nev, you got Deputy Dewey, you got Courtney Cox. Yeah, go check it out. And the trailer's dropping this week. So you actually might have already seen the trailer by the time you're watching this video. But I will say, much like, the talk about bringing Halloween back after so long, you only do it if you have a really good story to tell. And so I'm actually giving them the benefit of the doubt that they have a really good story to tell for Scream number 5. And who knows if this might reboot the franchise or not, but I think it's been long enough. I think it's a good time.
You know how they always discuss the rules of horror movies? I wonder if they're going to discuss the rules of the horror reboot or the rules of the horror long after sequel. Kind of their fourth wall breaking thing. I hope they kind of do that.
Yeah, and
because the last one was a lot of meta talk on there, so I could see that as the next step.
Yeah, and I'm excited what this trailer shows us because we've talked about what you really should do in the 2020s with a kind of movie that uses technology, psychology, all that stuff. You're gonna have to start dabbling into social media. You're gonna have to start showcasing what a serial killer in a digital age would do. And so if they're aiming for that, I think this could be pretty great. There's been a few other movies, horror movies, Unfriended, stuff like that, where they kind of focus on social media and whatnot. And I feel like they're refreshing. It's a different look, it's a different take. And so I think Scream 5 can actually pull something off if they aim really high for it. Scream isn't the only horror movie franchise trying to keep going. Saw, I don't know what it is, but Saw announced that an announcement is coming on the 26th of October. All they're saying is something horrifying is coming your way, and I don't know what it is. I have no idea. I haven't heard anything.
The
But
last Saw was not good, man. I don't.
Spiral, you mean?
it was a step
Yeah, I
back,
didn't like it. Yeah, it was boring.
Yeah, that's a interesting marketing because they're showing all the traps from previous movies. Like,
right?
what is going on here? What are they tying in with this? That's interesting. Yeah,
because they've
It
already
can't.
done like a collection
I was
on,
just
on
about to
Blu-ray and all
say
that, right?
it can't be just that, right? It feels like you wouldn't need a big announcement for that.
unless they're like the Saw Plus streaming service, like all the Saw movies in one. I don't know. It's just
Oh no.
everything's going
A horror movie streaming service.
horror movie streaming service. I don't know. So
I don't even care for horror movies anymore because my wife watches them so much. I've like seen every single thing you can watch, and the scary movies are just not scary to me anymore. I've become immune to them.
There you go.
She watches movies every weekend, scary movies every single weekend, starting on Friday, all the way through Sunday.
It's October.
Yeah.
You have to. That's what you're supposed
But
to
she
do right now,
does
man.
this every weekend. Doesn't even matter if it's October.
Way before.
She's trying to find a way
Joe's
to.
like, can you
to make
throw
you
some
disappear,
hocus
Joe.
pocus in there? God damn it! You know,
Yeah,
Jesus
tell
Christ.
someone else. She puts it on. I'm another scary movie. I'm like, I'm out. And then what
It's
else
like I
you
need some
gonna
Toy
watch?
Story or Rudy or something. Come on now.
Yeah, it's like let's watch
Yeah.
something else, man. Like
Hey, Toy Story
it
3
doesn't
is
scare me
horrifying.
anymore. I guess because she has like a what do you call it, like a subscription to Shudder and all that, and they just have like it's like the mecca of like bad horror movies, like B movies that are real bad. I'm just like, man, this is horrible.
Have her watch Thanksgiving. That'd be great.
Oh
Thanks.
God,
Oh, shit.
which is the one that she did watch? I forgot what it was like. I forgot the name of it.
Thanks.
But everybody was gathered together. I think. Oh, the Krampus. Oh my God, that was so bad.
Never got around to that one. I wanted
So
to see
bad.
it,
It wasn't horrible, but it was alright.
That was bad.
I believe you.
but
I believe. Killing me. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what?
Uh,
You didn't talk, Ted. You didn't talk about some announcements that came through too, because uh, weren't they just talking about the actor that they named
hmm
just a while
Just gonna
ago?
bring that up.
Yeah, for Guardians of the Galaxy. What was his name? Will Poulter. He's going to be playing Adam Warlock now.
I feel like that's not right. Hang on.
No, that's right.
Okay, go for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude,
so- Will Poulter will be playing Adam Warlock in Volume 3 of Guardians of the Galaxy, who's best known for getting his testicles bitten by a spider in that one movie with Jennifer Aniston. That's all I'm going to see when I see Adam Warlock on screen. I'm going to just be like, oh, you
I don't know
guys?"
if I ever saw that movie, but seriously, I think okay, Adam
you guys
Warlock
are
got
getting
his
paid.
testicles bit by a spider. Great. So
That's it.
Spider Warlock.
Jericho,
Yeah.
what's that movie, man?
Oh, I can't think of it. It's like the Johnsons or
Appropriate
know.
name, the Johnsons.
But yeah,
JC. You actually have to check it out. It's hilarious, and especially
Oh gosh.
later
He
on
also-
in the movie.
Oh,
when they
We're
go
the Millers.
camping.
Yeah,
There you go.
We're the
No.
Millers.
We're the Millers.
I've
He
heard
also
of that.
came
We're the
out in
Millers.
that other
That's an
movie. What was
awesome
it called
movie.
on Netflix? Bandersnatch. That's the other one he came out in. That one's pretty cool.
He's a great actor.
Oh,
Total solid actor. He actually reminds me a lot of the guy that's playing Riddler in the next Batman movie. They have
yeah.
they do drama really well. So,
Yeah.
but I got introduced to him when he was in We're the Millers, and like he got bit by a spider in the testicles, and they like swelled up like that big,
Oh man.
and that's what one remembers that him as.
This is
He was
why I
also
don't
in
watch
Maze
horror
Runner.
movies.
He's also in the Maze Runner,
hmm
Midsommar, which I really didn't like that one. But yeah, no, great choice for him to play Adam Warlock. And if James Gunn picks him for that part, then you gotta believe he knows what he's doing. So let's hope he does. Can't wait. Guardians of the Galaxy has been probably one of the bigger surprises with Marvel movies. Like they've always just stood out. They're funny, action packed, stories are great, characters are great, writing is great. Like you really can't dislike any of those movies. They're fantastic. All right. And last but not least, Resident Evil trailer has dropped this week. It'll be in theaters November 24th. So we are not short on the horror movie content. And if you're watching this, also the new Chucky TV series is releasing today, I believe. You're probably watching this on Tuesday the 12th. So yeah, the Chucky TV series, I believe, starts tonight on the 12th, and it's very exciting. It's being produced by the original creator of Chucky, and they're bringing back a ton of characters you're familiar with. So let's do this one more again with the OG Chucky. That's going to be pretty fantastic. All right. That means it's October, man. Halloween, right around the corner. And next week, we will be reviewing Halloween Kills, the second movie in this current trilogy featuring Jamie Lee Curtis. And if you're trying to figure out what the timeline is, it's actually the third movie in this current Halloween timeline, all the way going back to the 1978 film. All right. More answers to all your questions about the Halloween franchise next week when we review Halloween Kills. I'll probably be joined by Nathaniel Peoples, who's a huge horror movie buff, and we can't wait to talk about it. Probably watch in the backyard now that's going to be on the Peacock streaming service. If you didn't know, Halloween Kills is going to be in theaters as well as streaming on the Peacock streaming service for a fee if you're not a premium member. If you're a premium member, I believe it's already included on the service for you starting this Friday. So can't wait. I'm excited. Welcome back, Michael. It's always a better Halloween season when Michael Myers is putting out some new movies. All right. That'll do it for the countdown to the Geekcast. My name is Steady. With me on this episode is the man, the myth, the legend. You know him as JC.
You're talking about all this stuff that's October. October means one thing. We are very, very close to season 2 of Animaniacs on Hulu.
Hey.
And just yesterday, they released their first look clip at the new season. I could play it right now, or I could play it after the show. We can talk about it later. But there's a lot of nostalgia for you children of the 80s. I think you guys will like it. So
I don't want Spielberg to come after us. So yeah, let's just wait till after the show.
Okay. I'm very excited for that. And I will say above the DC shows right now, Stargirl just gets darker and darker, man. It is freaking good. So go check it out if you're missing on CW. Never mind that it's not DC streaming service anymore. It's on CW. It still keeps the same dark tone. It's pretty cool. So
absolutely. We also got the man behind the magic, Joe Garcia.
Thanks for watching, everybody, and make sure you go ahead and give us a like. Go ahead and share. Spread the word about the Countdown City Geekcast. We greatly appreciate everybody's support.
And last but never the least, the one and only Jericho.
Later, y'all.
We also got Dexter coming out. Dexter's coming back November 7th. It's like
that's right.
Star Trek Discovery.
So many things to watch.
Yes.
Exciting. Have a good night, folks.
There.